let's check this out. The Free Luigi rally.
Health over wealth!
Can you tell us about your sign?
Yes. Government recognized terrorism, MLK, Nelson Mandela, Gandhi, Luigi, Mangione. And
Holy
this
shit.
speaks to the fact that historically, many human rights leaders who have stood up against mistreatment, against apartheid, have also been labeled
How's
as
her
terrorists
mask?
to sow
Oh,
doubt
that's
and
a-
fear.
Obviously what Luigi did was an act of violence. Not going to touch on that as much, but he
has lifted us out.
Not gonna touch on that as much. That's a nice way to like let's just brush that off, because we want to frame him as a hero. We cannot talk about the violence he committed. Let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about the good thing.
Of the dust in the trivialness of politics and legislation.
And I believe that this is being done to send a message.
healthcare should not be for profit. That is the bare minimum. If you put profit anywhere near protecting human life, people will prioritize profit. You cannot have a for-profit system
Holy shit,
that
it's a cosplay?
prioritizes human life and profit. It is impossible.
I've had somebody on the floor faint.
But yeah, she's right about that. In America, it's really fucked with the healthcare. The same medication in America, for example, like in Germany, it's like $500 where you would get the same here for like, you know, in quotes, 200 or something. Massively cheaper, but also your Krankenkasse, what is it? Your healthcare will just cover it. For the most things in Germany, when you needed like antibiotics and all that stuff, you pay like $5 or maybe $10 on top of it, or like $10. The rest is from the. That's it. Your healthcare will cover most of it, pretty much everything. Only like very, 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 very specific things are not covered in the normal healthcare. Or like special treatments, like if you wanna have like a cosmetic, nicer pair of teeth, that's not gonna get covered. You will have to pay that for yourself, but if you need new teeth and stuff, gonna be paid for. You need medication, maybe $10 for the more expensive or special stuff. That's about it.
On the verge of dying, who was literally saying, begging, please don't call an ambulance because my family cannot afford it. Do you know what it is to have somebody in?
Let's see. Is it proposing to increase the price of ambulance rides to the hospital by some 50% due to inflation and increased salaries of EMS worker. Old rate charge for the ride $900 additional charge per mile. Bro, just take a taxi at that point. The taxi is cheaper. Yo, I got shot. Call me an Uber. Proposed rate 1,380. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's just the ride. No, just take a fucking Uber or taxi. That's cheaper. Fuck it. Let me just die. Let me just fucking bleed out on the ground. Fuck you.
So much pain and
That's
only
insane.
thinking my family cannot afford it. I'd like to ask the public in general, why is there a correlation with profit and denying people the right to healthcare in their most vulnerable moments?
As you may be aware, there are.
That's the
certain
next
health
part, which I
insurance
think is really crazy. It's like, you're in the state, like, let's say you broke something, you're really badly injured. You don't really think irrational, like, I want to go to the hospital quick, and be like, you want to go to the hospital? Sign this thing, and you broke, you're done. It's fucked up, man.
policies out, such as limiting the number
Self-driving
of
car
hours
would be insane.
of anesthesia that will be covered by health insurance for patients. And recently, another health insurance company changed their policy on benefits for children with autism.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, our message is not to comment on any healthcare policy alternatives, but to state insurance companies, business people, and people looking to make a profit should not be the ones in charge of which healthcare treatments or procedures people can receive.
Yeah.
Health over wealth!
What's up, guys? 2:28
Yo,
p.m.
hi.
December 21st, 2024. I'm here at Washington Square Park in New York City. There appears to
Yo,
be a
it's the
few
Buds.
things going on right now.
Hey,
There's
yo.
a rap battle cipher happening. There's some kind of TikTok dance challenge. A
What the
free the
fuck?
hostages protest. And I'm at the
Huh?
Free
What is
Luigi
happening?
rally. You
I
guys
thought it's
probably
about
know who
healthcare.
Luigi is. He's being held at MDC in Brooklyn right now.
Nigga in there for a body, but he doing the right thing. I said Luigi been the dawn since he put his pampers on. Vagabonds ran out the mouth like a marathon. Spazzing out, he hopped in the whip, then he carried on. With the shooters, got more ace in every on. Free Luigi, gang, that ass. Free Luigi.
Yo.
I'll trade plays. I've been in jail for 5 years. He don't know what it's like yet.
He is suspected of assassinating the CEO of United Healthcare, Brian Thompson.
Brian Thompson is dead after being
So
shot
random.
in Midtown Manhattan. The shooting happened near the Midtown Hilton. Thompson was not staying in the hotel, but we've learned he was in New York for an investors conference.
According to a manifesto that was leaked by investigative journalist Ken Klippenstein, who we interview later in this video, Luigi has a major problem with the health insurance industry and possibly
I bet.
health insurance claim denials, which essentially means insurance companies refusing to cover the cost of medical
Ooh.
treatment for insured patients, aka paying customers. For you pampered Europeans out there who don't know
Hey!
what freedom tastes like, let me explain something to you. In the United States, on top of sales and personal income tax, we also pay, on average, $550 a month to private.
How much? What? Average monthly cost of health insurance by state. I mean, obviously we also pay for healthcare, but in Germany, it's split. You pay a part of it, and your employee pays a part of it. 588, 560. That's insane. Ohio 435 taxes. Man. I guess Michigan. 712. And what is that? What is VW or WB? What state is that? What Wisconsin? No. What? West Virginia. Is it? Wisconsin? No, where's the V coming from? It's gotta be West Virginia, right? Oh my god, I would leave. Dude, you just imagine you live right here at the border paying 712. I would just move over here to Michigan and dude, save like $300. Holy shit. Is there anything lower than 394? 377? 350? What is that? NM? That is New Mexico. Right? I have to sneeze. Why is New Mexico so cheap? Oh, god damn it. Okay, moving on.
Companies for something called health insurance, who in return give us a cool card that we take to the doctor when something
Ooh,
goes
a
wrong.
cool
At
card.
the hospital or at the
Thank
front
you.
desk of an urgent care clinic, the doctor or receptionist, before telling you what's wrong or what the options are for treatment, will first ask you if you have the card or not. If you don't have
Uh-oh.
the card, just
Sorry,
getting into
kids,
the
you
door
will
and
never
being
hear
seen
again.
by a
We will
doctor
take
is
off.
between 2 to 10 times.
Cost of healthcare with versus without insurance. Without insurance, $70. Flu vaccine. With insurance, free. Okay. Primary care doctor visit. Just the doctor visit. Okay. 140. Broken leg. Oh, even with insurance, dude. I broke. Okay, here's a story. I went snowboarding. It's a while ago, and I broke my arm because it's not something cool. I didn't do a triple backflip. I pretty much just tried to, snowboard. I tried to brake. I turned too much and I fell. And it wasn't even fast. I just fell over and broke my arm. Guess what I paid for the treatment? Take a guess. How much did I pay for treating my... Is there a video? No, there's not. How much I paid for my broken arm? Wrong and wrong. Nothing. I didn't had to pay anything. Not a single euro. Yep. You can break your legs in Germany. Healthcare will cover it. I thought we had it easy with NHS. What is the NHS? No, German healthcare is insane. It covers almost everything. It's really good. And even the things it doesn't cover, it will still pay for a decent amount, and you only have to pay the rest. It's your healthcare. I mean, you guys made a few bad decisions. Does it do dental? Yes. We have dental as well. Not the you get the basic stuff if you want the super fancy teeth and stuff like that. You will have to pay for that, but your basic needs, everything is covered.
Times more expensive. Then after you're in there, the tomfoolery continues.
Uh-oh.
After a doctor diagnoses you and makes a recommendation as to what they believe is the correct course of action, whether it be surgery, therapy,
Surgery on
medication, or
corn?
what have you, they have to file a claim with your insurance provider and ask them, you know, the ones you're paying, if it's in budget for their company. This is called filing a health insurance claim. In some cases, companies will deny the claims, which forces doctors and physicians to present their patients with a depressing ultimatum. Either pay exorbitant uninsured rates for care, or if you can't afford it, get the hell out of here, you sick bastard, and come back with some money. And if you can't find some money, you could submit an appeal and begin that lengthy process, which on average takes over 180 days. A window in which 47% of respondents said their health condition got worse.
Of course
Healthcare,
it does.
of which Brian Thompson was the CEO, has the highest claim denial rate of any other major health insurance company. Part of this has to do with the fact that during COVID, the company began using AI to assess and deny claims.
Data is at the core of our agenda.
Hell yeah, AI, man, it's gonna
influences how we develop
make our lives easier
solutions.
by
According
ending
to a
them.
class action lawsuit filed in Minnesota by the estates of 2 deceased patients. The AI tool they deployed, called NaviHealth, now defunct, had a known 90% error rate, but the company refused to fix the problem, leading to a series of protests and more litigation from across the country, way before Luigi entered the picture.
Complicating the crime, Thompson was under investigation for insider trading. The City of Hollywood's Firefighters Pension Fund is part of a class action lawsuit against Thompson and United Healthcare.
These parasites had it coming.
Bro, he has
Luigi allegedly writes.
look at this dude. Look in his eyes. He has fucking hatred in his eyes. Oh my god. You can feel it through the monitor. Holy fuck.
These parasites had it coming, Luigi allegedly writes, framing Brian Thompson as a predatory businessman and himself as an arbiter of karmic retribution. Thompson leaves behind a soon-to-be ex-wife and 2 teenage sons, which is sad. People dying sucks. However, 41% of young voters polled by Emerson College in Boston say the assassination was quote-unquote acceptable. And the past few weeks on social media have seen a rabid frenzy of cult-like Luigi worship, exalting him as a righteous reaper who took matters into his own hands. Something
Holy shit,
communist Kyle Rittenhouse, fulfilling a deep, almost primal void that so many
You know, I am against violence, and especially just, you know, killing people. It's bad. And, you know, but you cannot fuck over the country, the people, for so long and not expect someone to get mad. I don't want to justify violence, but at some point you just have to, you know, see it coming. You can't screw over people forever until they retaliate.
have had for an Italian-American anti-hero since Tony Soprano left us in 2007.
His commissary good. He got bitches visiting him.
And I absolutely understand why people, you know, celebrate him so much. It's very easy. He took out a very easy target. Like most people hated that guy. So man, it's like this is one of the cases where it's like my principles against my beliefs. Like principle is like, you shouldn't kill someone. You shouldn't harm anyone. But man, it's hard to defend that CEO. Man, it's really hard. I can't in this case. Like, I don't like violence and, you know, what is it called? Self-just? No, what is it? Where is it self-justice? The Batman thing? It's not really what I like, but man, I get it. I do get it.
Guilty. Market data suggests that Luigi hats are flying off the shelves at record rates. And with no progressive policy change in the cards for the next 4
Hulk
years,
Hogan.
scores of young progressives have been given hope.
This is a person that he saw was the head of a company that was guiding a company that implemented an AI system to deny claims to vulnerable people, elderly people, that had a denial rate of over almost 90%, that was continuing, you know.
He was a huge fat arse target. Killing people is wrong, unless it's me, in which case take your shot, fail, go to jail, and I get a rise in popularity among my moronic, idiotic fan base who already think I'm Jesus. Vote Luigi 2028.
Thanks, Trump. Hey, I no, with the Trump thing, I'm very clear that is, you cannot, like, violence against politicians. No. And yes, I know, Trump bad, Orange bad, boo, blah, 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 blah. That's a principle. You cannot, you know, the politicians should be able to, both sides, you cannot, you know, cherry pick all the time. If you want to have politicians be able to express free speech and everything, it has to be to all politicians. You can't pick and choose your favorites. Politicians are fair.
Widespread suffering.
If you were to ask how many people who are in...
I know my stance on it is like, if your politics are not good enough to, you know, disprove theirs with like words, man, maybe you should overthink your politics again. If some random ass orange idiot can take over all the people with apparently ease, you're doing something wrong. You should overthink how you do your politics if you want to, you know, win over the voters. It's a skill issue. It's if that weird dancing dude who serves fries at McDonald's wins like overwhelmingly. You fucked up.
Get denied their healthcare claims. There's no math on that because they will never release those numbers. They don't have to, and it would incriminate them. If you were to ask how many were uninsured and die every year, it's approximately 48,000, which is 4,000 people a month, 130 a day.
Oh my god, he got the numbers.
And one person every minute and a half is dying in this country because they're being held hostage by the health insurers. Every person that dies does not
I need a
just
mask
die.
like that.
They are killed by the health insurance system. They are assassinated. They are executed by the capitalist system for profit. Wow. And so to pretend that one man in charge of that system being executed is somehow more important than every single person every minute and a half who is being executed it's abominable.
Imagine carefully
I
planning
agree with
the
that.
execution.
I think this, and he is very overblown. Mostly because probably all the other companies want to make an example out of him. Like, this is what happens when you touch us and hurt us. It is very excessive how they report about him and how many police has told him. He gets treated like Hannibal Lecter, pretty much.
Of someone
Just
you don't
missing the
even
face
know,
mask.
haven't met, someone who hasn't done a thing to you, and now he's a hero to some on the left.
The media pretends.
And that is just disingenuous. And that's why people don't trust the media anymore. Or like, you shouldn't trust the media. It's just disingenuous, and he's playing it down like, oh, he just killed someone he doesn't even know. He doesn't even, never did something to him. No, you know who that is. You know exactly what he's done and what his job does to people. it's just disingenuous.
Because you shoot somebody, it's somehow more unacceptable than to sign a paper denying somebody coverage and signing their death warrant. But it's murder just the same.
As sad as death is, I mean, this country has been built on blood and death. And
you know, the president and the vice president.
I mean, to be fair, every country is built on blood and death.
With a known murderer, Daniel Penny.
Name a country that is not having a history of blood and death. I will wait.
Who is, we know, murdered a man. Whether the legality lets him go to prison or stand,
I don't know who that is.
Go free is a completely different thing. Yeah. So I would say to the president, if he would stop eating McDonald's and get out
there
of
he
the
is.
golf resort, he could maybe ask the billionaire who's dog walking him if he could start working for healthcare for the people that elected him.
Because health is one of the most important things to being human. It's one of the things.
Yeah, it's kind of wild when you see people that have so much money and so much power that even if they would use like half of it, it wouldn't even bother them, and they just don't. And then you got here recently. Here.
Right now?
Okay, that is an awful video. Can I get a YouTube link? The GOAT.
Now to an exclusive here on Fox 11, an exclusive conversation with former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is happening for our political show. The issue is, he recently donated to Village for Vets, a nonprofit.
Oh, that is an old one.
Homes.
Like
This
he's
is the secretary of the VA
is
he
3
toured
years
this
ago,
campus in
but he
West
did it again.
LA.
He built
discovered
another.
a long row of soon after that action and
Like he
announced an
built
expansion
small homes
of the tiny
for
program.
homeless people and stuff.
Governor
Just, it's not even that much money, but at least he's doing something. Arnie is just, he's the GOAT. If you want a good role model, dude, here he is. He's him.
That continue to make us humane, that allow us to do all of the things that society continues to build on, all the things that make you happy, activities, whatsoever. If you are not in good health, then that basically closes the door to every other thing that you would like to do in life. And every other major first world nation,
Play Valorant.
most other, all of the others, have universal health care.
I came down here because personally I'm going through the whole healthcare thing. I got the same back surgery as Luigi. Probably, what was it,
Back
December
is fucked.
24th.
Can you explain exactly what that surgery is?
It is a surgery on your lumbar. It would be, I believe that would be the L4 and 5 that I got the surgery on.
Lumbar is like the lower part of your back?
Yeah, the lumbar down at the bottom here. And also I got one in my neck.
According to Reddit posts made by Luigi, he underwent a pretty difficult spinal surgery last year for chronic back pain, specifically in the lower lumbar region, where he had a misalignment that caused him extreme pain, unable to look up, arch his back, surf, rock climb, or be intimate. The surgery, called a discectomy, typically costs between $15,000 and $50,000 without insurance. And even those who can afford it often find themselves waiting months and even years for care.
So when I got my surgery, it was a year and a half of trying to get the ability to get the surgery, and the whole time I had nerve damage. Now I have permanent nerve damage, and they're saying that a lot of it was because I had to sit around for so long. So what they gave me was like medication. I was on pain like opiates. Now
yes, of course, the
companies are
classic
saying,
American way to deal with anything. Just here, drugs. Oh, you get addicted to them. Take more drugs to counter that. Now you're addicted to that. Shit. Okay, let's give you some other drugs.
that it's not a long-term thing. I can't sleep. I can't do anything without like medication. I'm at the point where I can't even afford to keep going with insurance. I haven't worked for 2 years since this incident, and like I guess the reason why I'm down here is because I keep hearing, about everybody suffering from the healthcare system, and like myself, I'm about to be homeless. Like I lost everything. I was making about $114K a year, and now I'm down to nothing. When I went to the disability office and everything, I did that over a year and a half ago, and I'm still pending in the courts. I haven't had a first court date. So the
Oh
whole
my
system is
God.
designed to just take you out. Like in the next 2-3 months, I'm gonna have to find a way to move. I don't have any family, so I'm gonna go. hang
Oh
out
my
with some
God,
friends
this
and
is
try
so sad. Fuck. How is it everything at once, man? Fuck.
to do that while I'm suing a company for what happened. But in the meanwhile, there's no
Hi,
help
Boo.
or health care, and now I'm looking down that I won't have any medication, which means I can't go on walks, I can't sleep, I can't sit, I can't do anything comfortably, I can't even cook. So I just wanted to let you know.
Cook,
what's going on
Jesse.
with me.
medication you're taking?
Oxycodone. Yeah, 10 by 325. I used to
I
be
don't know
on
what that is.
5 a day, so 50
I guarantee you these are not even legal in Germany.
milligrams.
Recognizing that his opiate tolerance was getting far too high, Nicholas asked his doctor
Opium
to be prescribed
tolerance.
pregabalin, an epilepsy medication that also helps with nerve pain.
But the problem with that is once you start taking it for like a month or two, once you stop taking it, the rate for like seizures as a side effect.
Oh
is
my
really high, I'm
God,
being told.
bro, oh. They make you addicted to some bullshit medication, and then they don't even help you get off it, and so you have seizures, and you need new medication that makes
So no doctors even want to give that to me because I live by myself. You know, I live in Midtown, and
Oh
I'm
my
about to
God.
have no help whatsoever. I'm down to my last 6 days of medication, so
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to take my email down, we can try to help you. I don't know if you need help moving or, you know, we have extra money and shit if you need help. I mean, it sounds like I got you, man. Yeah, well, I want to help you, man. It sounds horrible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
After this interview, I decided to launch a GoFundMe to help Zam move, pay rent, and afford medication.
Yeah, of
which
course
I
you make
kicked
them
off with
expensive.
a $1,000 donation. I hope that collectively we can all pitch in a few bucks and help him to at least get some relief in this objectively horrible situation. He struck me as a great guy, and I'm very blessed to have the platform to help people who need it. I've put the link in the pinned comment in the description of this video. Alright, let's go back to the controversial manifesto that was leaked.
Also in his backpack, according to police, a 3-page handwritten manifesto
Ooh.
confessing to the murder of United Healthcare's CEO Brian Thompson and ranting about other health insurance bosses.
Frankly, these parasites simply had it coming.
Ooh.
So whenever you read that manifesto,
True.
you noticed that parallel. Did you resonate with the frustration that Luigi felt?
I'll be honest, yeah. I don't know if the manifesto is real or not. Like he said, you can't trust anything the NYPD says.
Yeah.
But in regards to what it said, like not being able to sleep, rolling over, like there were days, you know, I had someone who used to come and help me at where if I didn't have medication, like if it was on back order before my surgery, I would be throwing up from the pain. I couldn't, like, crawling to the bathroom. Like, it was fucking terrible. And sorry. And also, if
It's not the real news. You can curse all you want.
As illustrated by this conversation, there's been many
Man,
disputes
it's
regarding the
fucked.
authenticity of the alleged Luigi manifesto. However, the journalist who leaked it is quite reputable, so I believe it to be real. And I had many questions for him. Here's what Ken had to say.
I'm Ken Klippenstein. I'm an investigative reporter.
You made the choice to leak
Holy shit.
Mangione's manifesto.
Like, he's like a real reporter, a real journalist, and not like some video game journalist who just keep talking about bullshit. Crazy. We still exist.
To the public. I want to know why you made that choice.
Well, I just thought it was media paternalism at its worst to withhold this on, I think, the dubious grounds that releasing this out of the public is going to be like some kind of code word, like in the Manchurian Candidate, where it's just going to activate something in everyone's brain and cause them to take out acts of violence against other CEOs. I mean, all this sounds very familiar to me. It reminds me of the argument that violent video games is causing shootings. I think it's just scapegoating something else because people don't want to deal with the underlying issue of why would the health insurance industry produce grievances of the sort that would cause people to find memes about this person dying funny. That's the question that people should be looking at. And to me, that is the kind of active ingredient.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even matter at this point if you release it or not, because the feedback from the public is just all around, or like, not all, like 80% positive. People view him as a hero, as and what he did was good and just and all that. It doesn't matter if you release that shit. Most people won't read it anyways. They just see Luigi fucking blasted that dude who's like a piece of shit, who's never giving anyone healthcare. So we're like, yeah, good guy. It doesn't matter really if you release it or not. Most people won't read it.
In all of this, that's driving the response.
And the other companies, of course, they are afraid. They, dude, of course they are. They see a president now, like, or like a president, whatever the word. Like, one of us got shot and everybody liked it? Huh, shuckles, I'm in danger.
That
and it's your own fault.
Some people find distasteful, but instead of looking at that, they're just kind of wagging their finger and saying, "Oh, if we just take it down from everywhere." I mean, I had internal chats from the New York Times staff leaked to me showing that they were instructed from on high, above, like senior management, telling them we need to quote dial down the use of.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think a news organization, newspaper, whatever that is, New York Times is newspaper, right? It's a news organization. Why do you think the CEO of this company is like, oh guys, take it back, don't, because he got a massive fucking paycheck put right up his asshole by these fucking companies like, bro, shut it down. Don't publish that. Shut it down. Here's $1 billion. Put a lid on it. Like, 100% that is what happened. Fucking corrupt bullshit everywhere. I fucking hate corporals, man. I fucking hate them.
Mangione's photo, his headshot in pictures. The idea being we don't want to, play into the glorification of him, and the idea that a picture of somebody
whoa. Oh wow! You know what? Holy shit! He's jacked as fuck. I can see why you would glorify that. Maybe that was before the back pain.
Of him, and the idea that a picture of somebody is going to intrinsically just, again, cause everyone, like, it shows you how much contempt they have for the public, that they think people are zombies that are just going to see something and just act it out, and there's no critical thought that happens.
Is that their version of populism, killing CEOs?
I'm telling you, in that guy's head, there is no critical thinking. He is a fucking lapdog. He is a fucking little lapdog sucking dick of whoever gives him the most money to downplay whatever he is supposed to say.
And look, to the extent that they're
his look makes me mad.
Doing even worse is they're tacitly encouraging copycats.
So you're saying that the CEOs and the government are scared of like a V for Vendetta final scene in Joker contagious wave of assassinations happening?
In fact, they use that word contagion. If you look at what the head of NYPD intelligence, which is a very big office, NYPD is, on the footing of a national agency, multi-billion-dollar budget. And she gave a public speech to the Atlantic Council, a think tank, in which she described this explicitly in, counterterror terms, including the speech being expressed in support of Mangione. And so it's not just about him as an individual. They are treating this, like you said, in using the word contagion. There's this whole, law enforcement theory that it is almost like the Cold War. Or Vietnam, the idea that it's going to jump from communism will jump from one country to another, and then it'll spread to another. I haven't seen any evidence for that. To date, there's no example of somebody shooting someone else in response to this. There is an example of a lot of people posting mean tweets and things, but to say that that is comparable
mean
to
tweets
murdering somebody,
the same as a bullet,
and so there's no evidence for it. I mean, I guess what they would say is, well, wait and see.
Yeah.
But what it says to me is that there's a lot of people in the intelligence community that don't know how to read the internet and don't understand irony and don't understand sarcasm and don't understand, shit posting, and so they take it at face value and say, wow, there's this army of V for Vendetta masks that are just going to
kill all of us
with pitchforks and come after us, and that really seems to be what the manner in which they're responding. It's a sort of moral panic I think we're seeing right now. And my hope is that people will look at more and more of the evidence come out, not just in the form of the manifesto, but the trial that's going to happen, and say, hey, there's much more to this story than that some guy snapped and just went crazy or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's a big conversation to be had too around the idea of violence. I think that, of course, we know shooting someone in the head or in the body, wherever he was shot, that's violence. That's, you're shooting someone. People think of fist fighting and those kind of actions. Assassinations that's violence. But they don't use that term when they think about policies that lead to people dying. and healthcare and medicine prices that result in people dying or people claiming that effectively is a form of violence. You might not be being strangled to death, but you would have otherwise.
I mean,
lived
in a
if it wasn't
metaphorical
for
way,
their
you
policies.
Yeah.
You
and
have
when
to
you look at the
keep struggling and begging and going after these companies. Like they said, it takes like 180 days sometimes to get something. They are strangling you this entire time. You're just helpless.
Urgency of the discussion around this, let's be frank, one person who died. Again, there has been no other attempt to kill anybody anywhere else, no evidence
Yet.
of a copycat attack. It's hard to look at that and say there's any other reason for that than that he was a really rich.
For all we know, there's only one dude with back pain away who could do it again, man.
Powerful person, and he's still benefiting from that status even in death. While literally tens of thousands of people die from having to ration insulin, for just one example, something that costs pennies on the dollar to manufacture. It's a disgrace. What do you even say to that? And the fact that the people in sort of the corporate media can't understand why somebody would be driven to rage over that, whether or not you support what he did, not understand that mindset. It's like, wow, they're really out of touch. They don't get it.
Yeah, they never will get it, but it's okay.
If you'd like to see our full uncut
I
interview,
disagree. They don't want to get it. They know it's wrong. They just don't want to have it real. Like, we are the bad guys. Why would anyone actually want to harm us? I wonder why.
With Ken, where we break down the manifesto sentence by sentence and discuss everything under the sun, go to our Patreon, www.patreon.com/channel5. As many of you know, we are totally independent and mostly crowdfunded. So if you'd like to support us and see some uncensored,
Running in
exclusive
hotel hall
content,
rooms.
head on
Ooh,
over.
mountains.
I'll put the link also in the description and bio. Thanks.
Channel 5 live worldwide, Hollywood and Vine. Fuck the authority.
The rest is just the Spanish advertisement. Good video. Man, it's a fucked up topic. It's hard. I wonder what will happen with him. It's gonna be interesting. But I do feel like they will make an example out of Luigi. They will absolutely blast his ass into oblivion. So nobody even thinks about doing the same thing again. But then again, if you wanna do that, you will most likely not think about it rationally, and you don't think about, but what will the court say afterwards? At that point, it's just like, I wanna just blow that guy's head off. Because he's a, piece of shit. Anyways, Monster time. It is Hunty Monster.